Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. We are thrilled to have you joining us today. And we're going to be talking about love, courage, and facing your demons. How can we face those challenging things in our life and choose to show up with courage and love for ourselves and others? How can we use those difficult things to become more of who we truly are and be willing to share that in love with the world? I have two amazing guests today that I know you're going to love. We've had them on the show at different times, so I'm very excited to have them together with us as we stand in the beginning of March. We've just come through February where we've been focusing on love, and I like to start looking at how can we spring forward, really harness that March spring energy. And today we're combining that love and courage, facing your demons, bringing that forward so we can move forward in a powerful way. I've been hearing a lot about the new year and the fire horse and the Chinese New Year system. And I have felt that energy coming forward and the movement and the importance of self-care with all of that powerful forward energy. So as we talk today, you might also be feeling that powerful forward energy, like I feel the host pulling us forward as we step into this new year and we step forward into the spring. And I know both of these amazing guests will be able to support us as we feel that forward pull, because now is the time to face those challenging things. This is the time to step forward, to find your path forward with love and courage. So let's just take a breath together, especially if you've been feeling that powerful forward energy. Sometimes we forget to pause and breathe. It's so important so we can move forward mindfully, not in a reactionary place, but mindfully and purposely. So pausing, breathing, take another deep breath in through your nose, all the way to your toes. Beautiful. And as you pause and breathe and slow down, I encourage you to close your eyes. You're absolutely safe. Breathing in all that beautiful supportive energy, oxygen, just filling your lungs. Even stretch your lungs a little bit. Let's see if we can get a few more molecules in. And then breathe out like you're breathing out through a straw, releasing what no longer serves, creating room and space for more. Beautiful. As your eyes are closed, I encourage you to put your hands on your heart. And thank your heart for being here today. I think sometimes we just take it for granted that it just keeps beating and beating and beating and working for us, heartbeat by heartbeat. And I think it's beautiful to pause and notice and appreciate. And as you're connecting in with your heart, I want you to notice each beat. And then the pause in between the beats. That still little space, that pause that we carry with us everywhere we go. And in that pause, in that stillness, what is it whispering to you today? What is it sharing with you, reminding you? As we connect in with love and courage and facing our demons, facing those challenging things, what is it sharing with you today? What is it that you need and are willing to receive because you absolutely have choice. So with curiosity, what is it you need? Beautiful. We'll receive that information. Take a breath. In through the nose. Again, opening your eyes as you breathe out, becoming fully present. And take a moment and write down what was laid on your heart that you were willing to receive, that you need and willing to receive. I encourage you to write it down so it's not just swirling around in you, but it becomes part of your reality. It becomes an opportunity for you to bring it forward and interact with it and keep that paper in front of you today as we share. We're hoping to pour insight and support and tools and resources into you today. So having that paper handy is an opportunity for you to capture some of those thoughts or insights or resources or tools, or perhaps you're reminded of something or something is sparked as you listen to your heart and what bubbles up as we continue our conversation today. So I'm going to open up the floor here as we go around our virtual room and bring our guests on and just see when they took a moment to stop, pause, and listen what was laid on their heart. So with that, Lisa, I'd love for you to start. What was laid on your heart when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen?
I had a lot of one-word things that came up, but the biggest one that really stood out to me was speaking with an intention. Like being aware of not just yourself, but others and where others are in that moment. And sometimes when we have something to say, sometimes others aren't ready to hear it, so we can just not say it.
I love that. I hear intention and discernment in how we show up and what we choose to share. Beautiful. Thank you. Elaine, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
I am coming out of about a 3-year period of a dark night of the soul, career change. And one of my aha moments has been that the first half of my life has been very performative. Like I need to know what I'm going to say in advance or how I'm going to behave and that sort of thing. And what is on my heart today is authenticity and showing up in love and courage to be my best self.
I love that. And I think it does take great courage to trust the world with our authentic self and to keep showing up. It's like a continual choice, I believe. Keep showing up with courage and love to keep being authentic and choose to bring our best selves forward. And that ties into, I was thinking, intention that was laid on Lisa's heart as well. So I love that. Beautiful. Thank you, Elaine. Listeners, how about you? As you've heard Lisa share, you've heard Elaine share, and you've been listening to your heart, see how those comments and thoughts and shares are weaving together. As we go to our first commercial break, I encourage you to stay present. Resist the to-do list. Really give yourself the gift of this time and allow yourself to really sink into what is coming forward. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Follow Voice America at facebook.com/Voice America for juicy updates from your favorite radio shows and podcasts.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com and make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Voice America programs are now available on your favorite connected device, including Amazon, Alexa, and Google Home. Through streams with Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio, listening to your favorite show is as easy as saying the show name followed by the word podcast.
Hey, Alexa, play Finding Your Frequency podcast.
If that doesn't work, try adding on TuneIn or on iHeartRadio or on Apple Podcasts.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes, that opportunity to be present and really be still. We're always, I feel like, in motion and movement, and sometimes we miss that wisdom that comes forward in those still moments. And we don't always receive support that is there for us, and even love that is there for us, because we're always moving. So I'm going to encourage you throughout our time together to really embrace this time, this opportunity to be poured into. Allow us to share what we've discovered, what is coming forward in love, in authenticity, and in a desire to support and empower each and every one of you. Just feel that support, that connection. Stay present and allow that time to be poured into to come forward. And that happens in that stillness. Beautiful. Well, in the opening segment, we got to hear from both of our guests in that heart energy space, just kind of what dropped into their heart and spirit when we took a moment to stop and listen and connect in. And I wanted to more formally introduce our first guest, Elaine, so you just get a little bit more of an understanding of the perspective from where she's coming in and what she is bringing forward. So sometimes it's helpful to have that context. So Elaine is a #1 international bestselling author, international speaker, mastermind host who believes in love in action. She was named Woman of the Year and Top Entrepreneur of the Year for co-founding Mainstream Electric Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing in 2000. She has since sold her company and is now launching and bringing forward so many things, including a swimwear line called Essence Swimwear. She is passionate about advocating for women and really helping you step forward in an empowered and powerfully authentic way. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful and dynamic Elaine Damschen to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for having me today.
You are very, very welcome. Thrilled to have you joining us today. And I should say, welcome back. So glad to have you back. And I wanted to start with, especially for those who are just meeting you today, why is this work around helping women, and particularly love in action, why is that personally so important to you?
Love in action has become my passion because I think I deprived myself of really feeling love in the first part of my life. And going through the writing, editing, and book publishing process, I've learned that how powerful love can be and that it's not just a feeling that we carry quietly in our hearts. It is a living force that's meant to be shown, shared, and set into motion through human connection.
Beautiful. And I think sometimes we think of love as a feeling or of emotion, and there's all different types of emotions that can fall into that love category. And I think it's really unique that you look at it as action, like the actions you're taking. And I'd love for you just to expand a little bit on that, because that may be a very new concept for our listeners.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully we all can identify with that feeling of love. And I'm learning that when I get a little download of, I'm thinking of this person during this meditation, rather than just acknowledging it, moving forward, I'm actually picking up the phone and sending text messages, making phone calls, or sending cards when those people are on my mind. People don't know the impact that they've had on us unless we tell them. And I know how much I enjoy hearing the impact that I've had on people. And so I'm wanting to mirror that back out into the world. So I'm taking action on that feeling when I'm thinking of others.
I love that. And there's a reason it's kind of bubbling up that's coming forward. And as simple as reaching out, I'm thinking of you, sending you love or support or a hug today. I mean, that can just make such a difference. And it doesn't take a lot of time or energy to do that, and can make just be that exact encouragement someone needs at that moment.
Yes. And it is strengthening my relationships. And I think when we leave this earth, that's how we can leave a legacy behind, is our love and how we made people feel.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. One of the things I included in your intro, and just everyone listening as I introduced Elaine, and I'll be introducing Lisa in a little bit, that these are just snapshots. I really encourage you to lean in and get to know both of these individuals more deeply and their expanded bio so you can really see more and more of who they are. But we like to give you a little bit of a taste. And one of the things I shared is that you're a #1 international bestselling author. So I'd love for you to share a little bit about what is this #1 international bestselling book? What is it about? And why did you were called to bring it forward, or its mighty message that it's bringing to the world?
My debut memoir is called Made in Vietnam, My Epic American Journey. I felt called to write this book about 20 years ago, and I've spent a lot of time reflecting on it before I took action. And there was a life-altering conversation that my parents had with me on standing next to a hotel in Vietnam, Saigon, Vietnam. And they shared with me their love story during the Vietnam War and how I was conceived in Vietnam. And when my mom was nearly 8 months pregnant, she made it into the United States so I could be born as an American citizen. And everything that I knew and believed until that point at age 36 was, I had glasses, rose-colored glasses on. It wasn't what I thought. And it changed the trajectory of my life. And I felt compelled to share that with the world because it's a really beautiful love story, as well as cultural confusion for me living in a multicultural home, and how I worked through some pain and resentment, moved toward the demons, who I thought was my mother, as one of them, and learned how to forgive her and love her the way she deserved to be loved before she passed away.
And that's just brings a smile to my heart and to my spirit, and what a gift to be able to do that and to find that love and work through some of those things that had just been confusing and hard and challenging, and resentment can be a very difficult thing to navigate as well.
Yes.
And to be able to come to that place of love. And now your book has been out for 6 months. And a couple of things. I'd love for you to share what you're hoping people take from it, discover as they read it, and perhaps you have one or two experiences of feedback that you've gotten as this has rippled out into the world.
Great questions. I hope that my book can inspire curiosity for those willing to read it, to perhaps look at their own lives and ask, where did I come from? Who am I? Or do I have places or demons that I can move towards and be brave enough to heal? And I mentioned this earlier, that is part of my mighty message again, because I'm so passionate about it, is again, that love is not just that feeling we carry in our hearts, but it is a living force meant to be shown, shared, and set into motion and put out into the world. My book has been out for about 6 months, and one of the most beautiful experiences that I've had. So the book was out for about a week, and I had a complete stranger reach out to me and share that they were going to read my book in a book club. She sent me the link and asked me to join their final session in reviewing my book. Hesitantly, because at that point I'd been pretty performative and I knew this was going to require some authenticity, I joined the call, and it turned out it's a Canadian book club. There were, 6 or 7 women, each of them from different countries who'd immigrated to Canada. And it was such a beautiful experience to have these women share how they felt connected to my story, whether it was through entrepreneurship and their husband showed up and said, hey, I'm having a complete career change, as I did in my experience in my book, or another woman who talked about her mom and dad fat shaming her because her parents were Asian and she could relate to the fat shaming I experienced from my mother, to asking questions about how I really freed myself through forgiveness. That was so far one of the biggest gifts I've received in honors, was to join that book club and have these women feel connected to me, even though I'd never met them.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I remember us talking shortly after that had occurred, and just how amazing and special that experience was, that, in sharing our stories, it can really connect with other people in such a deep way. People we've never even met can be impacted. And it's such a gift when we're willing to do that. And I just honor that you were courageous to show up and be willing to be authentic in kind of an environment and situation you just didn't quite know what to expect in that. And what a beautiful experience occurred in that coming together. Now, I also know you just recently got back from I think it was a 2-week trip to Vietnam. And I'm just curious, as you did that, was there anything else that came forward as your book's out, it's rippling out into the world, and you take this trip? Was there just something that touched you or impacted you as you were there just recently?
Another great question. Thank you. So many continued aha moments about where I came from. And one thing that really stood out to me as I toured from north to south, Hanoi down to Ho Chi Minh City, that the people of Vietnam are survivors. That country has been through years of foreign occupation and at war for thousands of years. And what I really could recognize on this trip was where's there's a will, there's a way grit in the people of Vietnam. And I'm so grateful that I have that in my DNA and it shines through, I feel like, in my relationships. And it really came through when I was working as an entrepreneur.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that perspective and being so grateful to have that. I mean, that grit is generationally built, and so much survivorship has happened to create that and bring that forward to you. It's a powerful gift that you have. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. And I know our time is coming to a close. It goes so quickly. Is there anything as you reflect back on our conversation so far that just is on your heart to share with our listeners today?
I would invite our listeners, if you have not read my memoir yet, Made in Vietnam, my epic American journey. If you want to connect with your heart and feel a tidal wave of emotion from front cover to back cover, my book will take you on a very personal journey of love that transcends this lifetime.
Thank you, Elaine. I agree. It's a very powerful book that reaches right to your heart and takes you on an amazing journey. I thank you for joining us today. I know you just got back as well, so I appreciate the time. And I know we'll have you back on at the very end of the show so people know how to connect and go deeper. As we go to our next commercial break here, listeners, it's an opportunity for you to just be still and really reflect on what's bubbling up in your heart and spirit. And we'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
A little birdie told me Voice America is on X. Follow us at Voice America TRN.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you become a member yet? Sign up now to become a member of Voice America. It's always free and easy. Plus, you get to take advantage of some great member benefits. Get unlimited access to millions of hours of on-demand content across all of our channels. Keep track of your favorite episodes, shows, and hosts in your own customizable library. Find out what shows you might be interested in based on your favorites. Plus, you get insider access with our newsletter. Membership gives you more. Sign up at voiceamerica.com and click register at the top right.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed. VoiceAmericaEmpowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. That opportunity to just pause and listen, reflect. See what's coming up in your heart and spirit as you listen to Elaine and you listen to what is kind of prompting you in your heart and spirit. I was even thinking, there are opportunities out there where people who we don't know reach out to us and want to connect or extend an opportunity. And it takes courage to say yes and trust ourselves in that space and trust them. And that takes great courage. And I hope that you're looking for those opportunities because when people are reaching out to you, it's an opportunity to share the gift of who you are. So that was something that just struck me as we were taking this moment to pause and reflect. And I'm really honored to introduce our next guest. She has been on our show before. I know you're going to love her heart, her spirit, her authenticity. And I feel like there's a passion and a fire in her belly that you will feel as she shares to really empower you on your journey. So let me just introduce her and share a little bit about her. So Lisa is a mother, a grandmother, and a writer, #1 international bestselling author. She homeschooled her children for 16 years, and during 3 of those, ran a successful homeschool group. She is a life coach certified through Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, and she is starting a program to help people do deep dives. So everything about Lisa is going deep dives into yourself to really discover how to create and live a life kind of playing your way, the way you're made. She's absolutely passionate about helping you do that, creating and living a life your way. Please lean in. Warmly welcome the powerful, the empowering, and transformational Lisa Sitze to the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Rebecca. You're amazing. I love being in your presence.
I love you being here too. It makes me happy. And I just smile, and I can feel, and I always feel this with you, how committed you are to helping others and showing up in a way to do so just authentically and powerfully. And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. So I'd love to start our conversation for people who are just meeting you. This might be their first time. Why? Why is this work of helping people in this way important to you? And kind of what does it mean to be able to live a life their way?
So my book kind of came out of my realization that I was not able to live my life my way. It was somebody else's way, and I felt obligated, and I didn't realize I was forced because I had never known any different. So it was just something that came out of my realization when my mother was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. It set me on a path to research what that meant, and discovering that through that how what my childhood, why there were so many disconnects in my childhood, and how it was literally impossible to connect with my mother, and it wasn't her fault. It was a psychological disorder. So that led me to, okay, well, I can't blame her. so then what do I do with that information, and how do I move forward with that? Because I don't choose to hate that I had, though I did take a moment where I had to give myself permission to hate her, but I didn't want to live there. I like to say I didn't want to set up my address and get my mail there. So I wanted to move beyond that somehow, so I ended up writing my book and clarifying to myself and for others that it's possible to move beyond that. And I showed lots of examples of how other people had done that in varying different situations, not just through narcissistic abuse, but there's lots of situations where people are able to recognize their own ability to choose, and how that we have the opportunity to create our lives. But what does that mean? And so, yeah, that's where that came from.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. And I appreciate in the process that you gave yourself time to be angry, to hate, to have those emotions that are very strong that sometimes we're so afraid to feel or acknowledge, and so we bury them somewhere. But giving yourself that opportunity to feel those, but that you didn't set up residence, you didn't accept mail there. You gave yourself an opportunity to process and to move through to the other side. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. And I feel like that's very powerful that you were able to do that. And this realization is, wow, I haven't been able to create it my way or do this. I've been doing the way other people said, and that let me find out what that is. And now you're reaching back to help others do the same.
Yeah. I used to, during the homeschooling years, there was a point in time I finally got to that it was like my kids would say, well, I've already done that. I don't need to do that anymore. So I don't need to go to, I don't know, whatever, Boy Scouts or whatever it is that they were trying to get out of. And I would encourage them and say, well, okay, you finished it, but how about you go there and then help somebody else to get to the space where you already are living in. Go there to help.
No, that's beautiful. That's just something that seems to be so entrained in you, and that you are passing that gift on to your children and future generations of there's still value in going and reaching out and helping others through. Just beautiful.
Just because we finish something doesn't mean we're done.
Yes, I love that. Now, your book came out recently, and it became a #1 international best-selling book. And I'd love for you to take a few moments and share about the book, what it was like to bring it forward, and what you hope readers discover as they lean into exploring and considering adding it to their library.
Yeah, it actually came out a year ago today. So that's pretty cool to be on your interview with you for the book that published for the first time. Yes, this last year today, March 5th.
I didn't realize that. That makes me, and time goes so fast. That's wonderful. I love that you're on the show today. That's so perfect.
Yeah, no, it's so on the back of the book, I talk about how facing your demons teaches ways to focus on yourself without being selfish, allowing for the struggle without letting it break you, and discovering where you can control your life. Because it was important to me to, as I went through all the different processes of learning what MPD actually was, and the horrific half-life that somebody living in the area of somebody with that psychological disorder has to deal with, and especially if you're born into it, you never know any different. But even people, I have a partner in my project that and she lived with for 20 years married to somebody with that disorder, and it doesn't matter how you are involved in it, it's still toxic. But bottom line is, my book is really more about agency, about our ability to make the decisions for our lives more than anything else. So I focused on what I knew, my narcissistic upbringing, but I also wanted others that didn't grow up that way to understand, how do you help somebody who's living in that kind of half-life? How do you, and what about other traumas? There's lots of different traumas that create toxic self views, and we need to recognize that we all have agency. And no matter what our life is like, we have the ability to transform that. And that's the whole thing we have, is we have what I call as a superpower. I call our agency a superpower because it quite literally is a superpower that allows us to create our life our way. That's been my motto for a long, long, long time. And I didn't realize why I held to that, but now I know.
Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you talking about agency and how important that is, that they're just choices that we can make, and we can live in a way that is aligned with who we truly are. And as I'm reflecting on that, a question comes up, and I'm thinking, well, that's great that we have that opportunity, but how do we recognize if maybe we aren't doing that? Because if it's what we've always known, that's how we raised, or we thought that's just how it is, that's just what you do. How do we start to realize that we're maybe not really aligning with our truth there, that perhaps we're called to play life a little bit differently than that?
I like to explain to people something I call RAD, R-A-D. And the first part is recognizing. So we really don't even know that there's something that needs to be changed until we can recognize it. So when we recognize that we're uncomfortable, something, we want something to change. We don't like some way something is happening in our lives or whatever. So that's the first part of the recognition. So once we recognize it, then we have to look deeper and closer at it, and we can acknowledge what our part is in it. So is this something I need to change my thinking on, or is this something I need to change in my life? Like I need to move to a different state, or is it that drastic, or is it something that I need to do about just kind of talk it out with a friend? There's lots of different ways that we can acknowledge, okay, what's my part to play in it? What do I do about it? Then we can decide. That's the decision. After we acknowledge our part, then we can decide what to do about it. We can decide, oh yeah, I really do need to move to a different state. I really do need to just kind of see it from other perspectives, which is why a lot of times talking it out helps, because, and for me, I will talk it out sometimes, but for the most part, what I do more than anything else is write it out. There's an actual science behind how our brain literally changes when we take pen to paper. And I'm not talking about typing. I mean, that can help, but literally there's something about taking a pen or pencil, some kind of writing instrument, and putting it on paper and actually physically writing out all the things we feel. So I have a journal that I write anything I want. I can cuss, I can do all the things I wouldn't say. I can say how much I hate somebody, or whatever. All the things I really don't want to permanently feel, but they're there. So I move through them and I get it out on paper. And there are times when I've ripped that page out and I burned it, because I am a private person. I don't want anybody to potentially read that I hate them. Because I don't really hate anybody.
Well, and even keeping the energy, I'm complete with that energy, and it doesn't even need to be in my journal.
Exactly. Exactly.
That's really powerful. Thank you for walking me through that a little bit. And I love the power of writing and how it can help us move through things. And that reminder of you can say whatever you want.
You want. It is your journal. Nobody else can read it. If you feel uncomfortable, like somebody else is going to read it because you're not in a safe place, then burn each page as you read it. Whatever.
Yeah.
However it works for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And I'm just reflecting on our conversation, because I know the time goes so quickly. Is there anything else on your heart that you want to share with our listeners today? A tip, something that could help them, or just a reminder as we get ready for our next commercial break? A great time for them to reflect on something.
So I guess the biggest thing that I would like to say is live each day. And I know it's a cliche, but live every day like it is a gift, but it's true, because we never know what's going to happen. And without living in fear of what could potentially change, or we could lose, or what could potentially be wrong, just live each day like it's a gift. And not only will that make it, if something does happen, it'll make things better. It'll also help you be more happy in life. I mean, quite literally, each day is a gift. And so, yeah, that's what I would say.
Thank you. I had flash in my mind as you said that, was literally opening up a beautiful package every morning to see what's in it.
I love it.
Letting it unfold. I love it. Well, thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. And happy birthday for your book.
Yes.
1 year old. That's so wonderful. I love it. And we are getting ready to go to our next commercial break. And as we do so, listeners, this is an opportunity for you to really sink in and listen to what's coming forward and maybe take that pen to paper. We'll continue our conversation in just 2 minutes.
Voice America is on LinkedIn. Connect with us today.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
You need to live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Our listeners have told us that they want to be motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement around the clock. And we've responded to you. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's here at voiceamericaempowerment.com.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Find out what makes the most successful people tick. Keep listening to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. voiceamericaempowerment.com.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those 2 minutes. And I hope you took that opportunity to put pen to paper a little bit. See what comes forward, what you discover, and even how it feels as you start to write some things down. I have found it can be very transformational having that dialogue, getting it out of swirling around in me and putting it on paper. I find talking it out, it's so funny. My friends all laugh because they said, "Oh, I know you're just processing," because I talk to process, I've learned. So I have found both of those techniques really supportive of me on my journey and really finding what helps you process things and move them forward. I hope you've gotten some really great tips and suggestions and insights that you can carry forward with you. I'm going to have our guests share how you can connect with them and how you can go deeper. I'll have them share about their books so you know their full title in case anyone missed that. And then they also have a number of things that they are bringing forward and launching that we wanted you to know about as well. So you heard it here. With that, Lisa, I'd love for you to start. If you could share your contact information, the full title of your book, as well as things that you are bringing forward we can be watching for.
Sure. My website is facingyourdemonsbook.com. And my email is also facingyourdemonsbook@gmail.com. The title of my book is Facing Your Demons: Healing Beyond Narcissistic Family Relationships. You can get that on Amazon, Goodreads, or on Barnes & Noble website. And the program that is coming it'll be a bit because my partner that I'm doing it with is finishing up school, and she's got a job that she can't leave right now. So we just meet once a week, but it's coming together. My book will be out on Audible soon. And if you want to know when that happens, then please contact me on either my Gmail or my website does have a contact. So
perfect. So they could connect and get on your list and be notified as soon as things are the Audible's available. I know that's in its final steps there, so that's very exciting. And the opportunity to see this program and be aware of it as it's coming out will, I know, serve so many. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you sharing.
Mm-hmm.
And Elaine, I'd love for you to also share your contact information, the full title of your book, as well as some of the things that you have coming up that people can be watching for.
Sounds great. My website is ElaineDamschen.com, spelled DAMSCHEN. So ElaineDamschen.com. You can sign up for a newsletter at that site. I'll be sending some things out soon. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Just look me up by Elaine Damschen. Or my email is elainedamschen1@gmail.com. My book is Made in Vietnam, My Epic American Journey, also found on Amazon, Goodreads, and Barnes & Noble. And a couple projects I have coming up. I am releasing my first swimwear line. It will be essenceswimwear.com. Just working on the website now. And I'm having a children's book illustrated that's called The Happy Home Heroes. And that should come out later this year.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing. I'm excited about both of those projects that are in the works and coming forward. And I know they can get on your newsletter list and be kept in the loop of any of those projects. So they're first to know as things come forward and announcements are made. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. And listeners, I want to thank you for being part of our time together today, that joining us and really leaning into the conversation. I hope that you've gotten great value out of what we have shared, what has touched your heart, what are some takeaways. And I encourage you to actually take a couple moments just for you at the end of the show. Instead of rushing back into the day, take a couple minutes, look at your notes, listen to your heart. What are one or two things you can implement now, today, take a step on before you step back into the day? And then as you step back into the day, choose how you're doing that, who you're going to be. How are you showing up? The day does not get to be in charge. I don't know where that myth started. It's not true. The day is not in charge. You are. You get to choose how you're showing up, how you're going to navigate. And if you're willing to take that breath, that pause, recenter, so that you can be who you want to be intentionally and purposely as you step forward. Because the biggest gift you can give the world is more of you. Be willing to be authentically, truly who you are and share that gift with the world so that as you go forward, you're choosing to bloom where you're planted and shine, share out the amazing gift of who you are. Have a wonderful week, and I'll look forward to talking to you next time.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel, with a replay on Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific on the Voice America Variety Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.